All right. Everyone in attendance, virtually and in the room. I'm going to go ahead and record this public comment session. A little bit to share. As outlined in my pre-hearing order, we are here for the evening public comment session in the matter of the application of Snake River Oil and Gas LLC, integrate the spacing unit consisting of section 30, township 8, North Range 4 West, Boise Meridian, Pitt County, Idaho. Snake River Oil and Gas is the applicant. This is docket number CC-2022-OGR-01-002. Pursuant to my notice of evidentiary hearing and pre-hearing conference in Idaho Code 675242 sub 3 sub C, all interested persons will have the opportunity to present public testimony at a separate evening session here of the hearing on January 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m. This session is taking place at the Fruitland City Hall, 200 South Whitley Drive, Fruitland, Idaho. Any person planning to testify during this time will be treated as a public witness with rights and status in this matter is defined in IDAPA 041101.355. And again, I may set some time limits for each person. I'm not particularly worried about it given the number of people, but if someone's up here for 45 minutes, I'll be intrigued, right? But we'll see what happens. Again, my name is Mick Thomas. Some of you know me. I'm the Division Administrator over Minerals, Navigable Waterways, and Oil and Gas for the Idaho Department of Lands. And I am also the hearing officer for this docket. We currently do not have any, we have participating online, 2 Deputy Attorney Generals with the state, and then the folks in this room. And then James Thumb, who's the program specialist for oil and gas, is in attendance. Also, the other folks are here, members of the public. So with that, I would invite anyone who'd like to come up and provide public comment, starting left to right, just because what I'm doing, to do so. If you'd like to provide public comment, just for the sake of the audiovisual system, if you wouldn't mind walking up to the podium and speaking so I get a good recording, that would be great. And public comment is not mandatory. This could go by really quick, but I wanted to be able to provide this opportunity for folks out here. That's why we came to Fruitland and didn't do it just virtually or in Boise. It's really the biggest reasons why we have our hearings out here whenever we can. And thank you, Stuart, for making the facility available. It really helps, makes a big difference. So with that, first public comment. No one? Okay, I'll just wait a second. Maybe you guys want to say something or not.
I'll start.
All right, well, come on up. Now, when you walk up, full name, that's all I ask. Okay, and you can share if you're a Fayette County resident. I'm pretty sure you are, right?
Joe Yashida, Fayette County resident. I've been a long opponent of natural gas in our area, just due to what it could possibly do to our environment, our water, our air. I realize it's been a losing battle because oil and gas is here to stay. So I have a couple basic questions, and I don't think it takes anybody from the gas company to answer. I'm sure you could answer them. I would like to know how many wells have been drilled in the Fayette corridor so far?
First, I'll say, just for the record, it's a public comment period. It's not necessarily the town hall approach that we've used in the past. I can say, though, evidence presented earlier today indicated, I think he said in 16 wells so far. Is that correct, Mr. Thumb? That's what they said today in the matter of record.
This is James Thumb.
Yeah.
I think he said that between Snake River and the previous operator, there had been 16, but I don't know if that includes the bridge wells. I'd have to go back and count through that. But somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20, I'd say is probably accurate.
That is total over the last 6 or 8 years.
That would be since I think the first well that Bridge drilled in 2010, was it? I think so. Something like that, yeah.
And so how many are still in production?
That's actually also available on our OGCC website. I think currently in production, we have maybe 8 wells that are producing, and somewhere it's currently listed as in the producing status.
And so what is the average life expectancy?
Again, that wasn't discussed in the hearing this morning. I can tell you that on average nationwide, average well is between 3 and 5 years. I base that on my knowledge as a petroleum geologist from prior careers. Some wells go on for decades, but median, I think, is 5 years or under. Now, the wells, I will say that the wells that we have here in Idaho, because they're more of a pressure drive system, they may last a little longer.
So what is the company, what is their future? You're punching wells every approximately less than a mile apart right now? Do they plan on coming in and going between them wells?
Well, I'll tell you something. Since it's public comment, let's get the public comment sections out of the way, right? And then I'll stop this formal public comment session, and then we can have a discussion back and forth if that's okay with you.
Well, I kind of feel like my comments are public.
Your comments are public, but the process of having a Q&A of the hearing officer is not normal. I'm happy to answer the questions, but I want to make sure I receive your comments first. And then once the comment period is done, we can have this discussion. I hope you understand the formality of just trying to make sure I'm following the logistics here.
So what do I got to do? Just rephrase the question?
There's no questions. There's public comments. And you hold on to the questions until a public comment is period, until our public comment session is done. And I'll leave everything up here running, and then we can have a back and forth. But I want to make sure I have a public comment section that's pursuant to the Idaho code that we discussed. There wasn't a Q&A as a part of that.
All right.
I promise you, I'm there with you. We're gonna have a good conversation.
Okay,
I just
I'll
want to make
just
sure I
wait
check the
then.
boxes.
I will hang on.
All right. So that, are there any public comments, additional public comments?
I think you might have scared everybody off.
Well, no.
Not yet.
All right.
My name is Stuart Grimes. I'm here representing the city of Fruitland. Just kind of restating what we've talked about in the past. The city of Fruitland obviously is very concerned about oil and gas activity, specifically related in close proximity to some infrastructure we have in the north end of town. We've got a $20 million wastewater treatment plant that sits right along the bank of the Fayette River, directly across from one of the producing wells. We've got also a multi-million-dollar water treatment plant where we pull water out of the Fayette River, and that's the water that we provide to all of our citizens in Fruitland. So the mayor and council, continue to be concerned about any activity that's going to be in close proximity that potentially could, create issues for our water treatment or wastewater treatment. And also they've expressed concern in the past, and that's kind of why we came up with the ordinance that we did for gas and oil, to try to protect our citizens, to maintain what we feel are reasonable setbacks from, residences and development. So I know I can't ask a question, but I got in here a little bit late. What section, can you answer just one, what section?
If it's material that's in the body of evidence that's been produced,
Okay.
that's fine.
So that, which section is this?
This is in section 30, township 8 north, so section 30.
Okay. So yeah, that's basically my testimony or comments, is just the kind of ongoing concern we have with protecting our infrastructure and, the kind of keeping a safe distance from our, the residents of Freeland. So
Thank you, Mr. Grimes. I appreciate it. We did have an additional participant join, Sarah Roberts. Do you have any public comment at this time? All right, none from Ms. Roberts. That's fine. Is there any additional public comments in the room or any ways that we can discuss right now?
I feel like I'll stand just because I came to the meeting and want to make my voice heard, I guess. I found out about this meeting not that long ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. Oh, my name is Sarah Weatherspoon and I'm a resident of Fruitland.
Thank you.
And I came because I wanted to just gather a little bit more information. I've seen these wells go up and obviously have concern. I live out in the country, kind of come out. You move out there and for me, I have a connection to my land. I have a concern over the environment and I see all these wells coming up and it's concerning. And I wonder, what is it doing? And what effect is it having on our tiny little community? And that's why I came. I wanted to gather more information. So I'm really interested in hearing Joey's questions and getting some of those answered, but I want to just voice my concern.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, with that comment, unless there's additional public comment in the room, I'm going to end the public comment session this time.